Hey guys, what's up? This is Nazudu and you're watching Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we will do a little bit of science in the Hype Group luxury version of the H-145 Airbus helicopter. And what we are going to do is we will test out how it is to hover and taxi with a lot of wind. And I mean a lot of wind. There was a discussion yesterday, I think, on the Discord where someone asked about how it is with heavy wind, and we were talking about like 20 knots wind and then taxiing out, and yeah, I was saying that's no problem, just go vertical into the wind and skip the taxi. But some people might just want to taxi, I don't know. And yeah, I thought, why not setting this to something like 35 knots and see what happens. So let's make some assumptions here. As you can see, speed indicator is already almost at 20 knots. Let me double check. You see here with this arrow that we have wind from 11 o'clock with each full of these feather sticks represents that's 40, isn't it? Summed it up to 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So you rounded it up. And this is gonna be interesting. So I think I will for most of the time use the trim release button and hold it all the time, because let's dial that back. Oops, oopsie. That was the Y button that is on my mouse. Let's dial that back to like 3 knots. Do you see how the speed goes down? So when you have wind like this with 35 knots, you can see that the helicopter is already assuming that you're going like 20 knots, which means, and I think the follow-up trim that you can do here in the options, you have only cruise, only hover, which is realistic, or both. I usually have it in only hover. I just did not fly the luxury version. The follow-up trim will stop working at 30 knots, and from that point on in the actual build, which is 364 and uses the CFD model from Asobo, follow-up trim will not work, and you will have a lot of trouble if you don't use trim release to move around. So keep that in mind. We are almost there already, so if we add another like 5 knots to our current speed, which is ground speed 0, we don't have follow-up trim anymore. But let's stop talking. Let's just see what happens if we lift that thing. So we see we have 35 knots coming from 11 o'clock. So the takeoff will not be a lot of a problem, because we have almost wind from the front. And we are weather waning already. All right. Here we are into the wind, and now we will move to the runway. So we will turn her around. I will have to work a lot, and I mean a lot, on the collective. That's not like with 3 knots wind, where you can put just one power setting and then cruise around with it. I have the trim release button constantly pressed. Okay, but let's try something else here real quick. Let's activate GTC H and see how it deals with this kind of weather. And it is putting us into a pretty nice hover. Let's go a little bit forward. Let's also, oops, deactivated by accident. Let's also put in cruise height in the mix. Okay, it did lift up what I did not command it to, so let's release that again. Maybe it's also programmed to go into some specific height. But as you see, with pretty heavy wind from a pretty unfortunate direction, the helicopter in GTC H is stable, and with beep trim I can now go slowly towards the taxiway. And we can also no, wrong button, sorry. And we can also switch back to GTC mode and command it to go with the speed we want. You can see those digits there. With the speed we want towards the taxiway, and it is rock solid. Even though we have now 35 knots wind from the back, which is really bad conditions. Okay, but let's take that out, come back to manual mode if you like, and try to get to the runway in a controlled fashion, putting in a lot of left rudder here, or anti-torque. And as you can see, it's absolutely okay. It's a little bit shaky, and I hope they have the puke bags ready in the back, but it's no problem to follow the line. I should probably download this indicator app which shows my controls to you, but you can see on the MFD, hello, yeah, on the MFD how I adjust the collective. It's a lot of work with the collective and the anti-torque pedals, but with the trim release button held, it's not a problem. So if you are now thinking, okay, I can use the follow-up trim here at this point, it will get you into trouble. I can't explain it, but I do not use the trim release button for a few seconds here, and you can see it already looks shaky, and I'm fighting the helicopter. It wants to go back into the position it was. And we are also, I don't know where we are going here. I'm not familiar with this airport, so let us turn around 360 and follow the taxiway. Now we're having backwind again, this time from the left, which is not really beneficial. But you can see it works. It's absolutely doable if you put a lot of work into the collective and the anti-torque pedals. So let me zoom out a bit. So that's the maximum zoom. right. I have no idea where the runway is. So let's do the same thing with with the Cabri G2. Alright guys, we are back in the Cabri G2, and as you can see, there's a lot of wind, but not enough. We want more, because this is live weather and we want to have wind of 35 knots. It's coming from the west, okay. And you can hear it, you can see it. See it there. Yeah. And the governor is already working a lot. Okay, so, but it's the same deal, I hope. And I expect us to be thrown around like crazy, because this thing is super light. Woohoo! Oh, okay. All right, so another try. I will not give up on the 35. But not yet. 35. Here we go. Okay. So let's try it a little bit slower this time. So it comes from the west. So the first thing I want to do, whoa, is get my nose into the wind. Slowly, slowly I'm increasing. Whoop, and here we go. We immediately get lifted like crazy. Wow, we're bouncing up and down, and I think no, I don't got her. I do not have her. All right. Well, that was everything but a safe departure. Okay. But I catched her. Let's see what happens if we turn away from the wind and try to crawl to the taxiway. Well, I don't know if she really, in real life, if she really would balloon like this. Okay, now it's okay. After that really uncontrolled takeoff, we are pretty safe. And let's remember, wind comes from our 5 o'clock now. But I do think that the ballooning is also related to the fact that from my point of view, the ETL limit or specs, or however you want to call it. Okay, full rudder change here, pedal change. The helicopters just lift too early, too fast, too early, because you just need to go like 5 knots and they will already climb with 300 to 500 feet per minute without changing the power setting. But yeah, as you can see, that's once you catch her, it's no problem to, well, no problem is a lie. You can taxi around, and I can also do a 360 here. No, I can't. Should have stopped before I did this. Well, I have to admit I'm flying the first time in these conditions. Still learning. And as I'm quiet now, you notice that I have to concentrate a lot. But yeah, I can taxi around this airport without killing somebody, at least if he's not around when I take off. Let's do the takeoff one more time. This time we assume someone has pushed us into the wind. So let's go west with the nose. Bring her down. And let's do that again. Pushing forward. Too much. Slowly increasing. Here we go. Well, I would say that was kind of controlled. And I'm doing really tiny work on the side click. Got it with 2 fingers right now. And we established a solid hover. Alright, so that was just a little experimental episode. Want to call it like this? I don't know. If you like that, if you want me to try out other things, or you say this and that is not possible, let me know, because I will try it. There are things that are impossible for sure. There are things that are just ridiculous, like spinning up the rotor blades above critical wind speeds. For a lot of helicopters it's 50 knots, so there's no sense in assuming you would take off above those wind speeds. But yeah, if you have questions, write them in the comments. I say thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you being around. I wish you a happy new year. I don't know if I released a video already that says that. And I would say let me go for a landing here, but I already say thank you for watching, and I see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.